Thornton, hand off to Vandersloot. 5 on the shot clock. Stewart, back to Sloot. They'll have to put it up. Ionescu, money!
Whoa! That was big time.
Shot clock winding down again. Ionescu from Reno.
Never mind. She's on fuego right now.
The New York Liberty 2023 Commissioner's Cup champions.
Quick passing, trying to get something before the D gets back. Good job on the Liberty. That's great. Makes a play. The tempo favoring. Gray steps up. That's it.
This is Rafique Louison, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk. Yeah, what a week. As I welcome to this episode, Nothing But That Sports Talk. Rafique Louison alongside Ryan Walker. And the Liberty did smoke the Aces in the Commissioners Cup to win the championship, but they end up losing at the end. It's funny because before today's game started, you were just getting ready to say the Liberty are winning the championship, and they aside from the 8-0 start, they were held out to dry.
They're still winning.
Chelsea Green got a triple-double. Even though Sabrina Ionescu did drop 6 3-pointers on top of 22 points, the offense just wasn't there when it mattered the most.
What was that, a road game, right?
Yeah.
Vegas was gonna play better at home, and we beat them pretty bad the other day. And I know that sent a message, and they're a veteran championship ball club that took that loss clearly not lightly, and they know deep down inside their biggest threat this year is the New York Liberty. So it's key in the matchup for both teams to play at each other. And it's really kind of serendipity by how great that the schedule has arose that they play several times, because they're just going to just be going at it. It's like Ali and not Foreman, it was Ali and Frazier, excuse me, with these guys, because they going back at it. Vegas beat them pretty good the first time, and they really came back and beat them by like 20-30. And then now this time, a few hours ago, Vegas take care of them in this contest. So they play them in 2 more times, right?
Actually, 1 more time. August 28th at the Ball of Brooklyn. Barclays.
Right. 1 more time. We'll see how that goes. It's probably in the Liberty's best interest to try to protect home court and at least go 2-2 in that series. At least if we can go 2-2 in the series and the stars align and the Liberty make it to the finals as well as Vegas. Vegas will still be the favorite, and Vegas will still feel they have the edge in their series, which they should, being champions and coming back with that core. And by then, Candace Parker should probably definitely be available, and so on and so forth. So they should feel like the favorite, and I guess most likely they'll have home court in that series if everything stays the way it is, or goes on the pace that it's going right now. So if so, with them knowing that still, they'll know in the back of their minds that they have to respect the Liberty, because the Liberty can play a great brand of basketball and have some really good players on the team. If it's 2-2, it's a lot more of doubt to put in their head a little bit compared to if they win the series 3-1. It's like, yeah, we respect the Liberty, but in essence, we prove that we're better than them in the series. We have the championship. We have home court. We should definitely win this series regardless, So, that's going to be a good series between them, and we'll see how the next contest goes next week, basically, for them. I'll be in Canada that time, but I'll make sure I tune in to see what the outcome of that one will be.
Exactly. And if you had a chance to watch the entire game, you would know that it all came down to physically slowing down the passing offense of Liberty. And Breanna Stewart didn't really show up all that much. I mean, she had about 13 points, shot 1 for 7 for the 3-point land, 3 for 15 shooting. The Liberty, they did, but that alone did not stop the Liberty from knocking down 15 3-pointers on 38.5% 3-point shooting, which had a slight edge over the Aces, who shot 30 36% on 9 3-pointers. So when you look at that aspect, when you look at those little things and the way the Stars came to play tonight, Angel Wilson had 21 points is definitely much better than the last 2 games between these 2 teams combined. And I already talked about Chelsea Gray on a triple-double. She had about like 22 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, something along those realms. I mean, actually, I'm lying. 11 assists, 11 rebounds, 10 to being defensive. And then they really went after the ball big time when they saw the New York Liberty were catching up, and they had him within 4 points.
And what did you say the final score ended up being?
88-75.
Yeah, it's really a grinder. Really a tough one. Old school kind of basketball. It's 2 good teams, man. I'm telling you, they're throwing punches at each other. And like you said, August 28th, which is like, what is that, next week, Sunday?
August 28th, I believe that's about like a week from, that's like 1 week from Monday.
Right. And see, here's the thing, too.
That Tuesday, actually.
I'm not going to say the Liberty cannot win that game. I do want them to win that game. I think they will win that game, even though I respect what the Vegas will do the next time in that contest. But this I do know. Vegas will play better this time in Barclays than they did the last time. It's not, I mean, if it ends up being like that, then that's, wow. But I think Vegas is a little also, they want to at least put in a better performance than they did the first time in Barclays, and that's going to be a huge crowd just because of that. You know what I mean? So the first time, the other day was the largest crowd, right? When Vegas and the Liberty played, that was the largest crowd in, I think, the history for the Liberty. So they might break that record or equate it when that date on the 28th comes.
Yes, indeed, they might break it. But I want to play a little clip that a former special guest on the show not too long ago, Tarika Foster-Brasbury, said, because remember when I told you when she was kind of called Liberty overrated? I'm gonna let you listen to this.
You're overly competitive.
Are they overrated or not?
We just don't see eye to eye on New York. There is no time for New York for real to figure this out.
They absolutely have time, Tarika.
Agree to disagree because you do not have time. Their location and the expectation for them is different than for Las Vegas. The expectation was you would come here and you would win. And I don't want to use the word excuses, but there are just different challenges that are arising with this team. Stewie ain't gonna drop 45 every night. I do think that at this moment, they are overrated. And it ain't fair. Life ain't fair, but that's the reality.
Okay, what are your thoughts on that video complication I showed you with Tarika Foster-Brasbury made her comments about the Liberty earlier in the season?
What date did she make that comment?
That was around like earlier in the season where Liberty started off like 6-2, somewhere around those wells where they had the 2 losses, where they had the blowout losses we had the blowout loss to the Mystics and blew 18 police in Chicago Sky. It was around that time she made those comments.
Oh, I mean, see, that's why you always gotta, ask the right questions and think about it first before anybody says anything just randomly off. When she made that comment, it was they really were 6-2. So I get it for the time frame. That's the first thing I said. When she asked, if she would have made that comment yesterday, or even 10 hours ago, that would have been absolute blasphemous. But when they were 6-2, I guess at that point, especially when you're doing a show where you have 2 options, whether it's either overrated or underrated, and she picked the position as overrated. I mean, at that time, you could debatably say that. I wouldn't say that they were overrated at that time, but I would say I spoke to you about this, and I spoke to one of my other good friends, Amir Mosley on the camera that does media, who's a big sports guy, but a huge Liberty fan, and he goes to a lot of games. We talk about a lot of stuff, and I said I didn't like how things were clicking in the beginning of the year. Brondella was still growing on me, and she's starting to get, starting to see a little bit more of her philosophies now. But I just didn't like it at first. John L didn't start off too well, which kind of, had the team a little stagnant. But when she started playing, you see that changed the whole complexion of what's
Yeah,
going on.
win the Commissioner's Cup game.
Right. And I think that what both of those ladies kind of said they had a lot of good points on there. Where the young lady saying that, of course, in anything in New York sports, even when you're rebuilding, the time for New York is now. So New York really never understands rebuild. Everybody wants a win or something or a product now. That's not always realistic. All good teams, all bad teams, all good teams have bad times. So yes, with the acquisitions that they got, the John L. Jones, the Stewart, excuse me,
Jaquel Jones,
Breanna Stewart. We're also picking up Vandersloot. A lot of stuff they did, a lot of shuffling they did with the team. Of course, they were gonna have different expectations for the Liberty because they haven't had those expectations in how long, realistic ones. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but they do have time to gel because clearly it wasn't working at first, the beginning of the year, even though they still were winning. There was enough talent there, so they still going to win. But like you said, they gave away the game to Chicago. They really should have beat Chicago. They played a game against Atlanta when I watched it when they played Atlanta. Atlanta's really good, but they probably really should have won that game. Even though Breanna Stewart didn't play. Is that Breanna didn't play that game? No, Bree played. Our 3-point champion. Sabrina didn't play that game. And they had some games early. So when that time came, for now, but they're definitely not overrated now. They're definitely exactly what they are right now. And for that time frame, yes, I guess I understand why she said that, but we know what the Liberty are now. They're clearly a threat. And if they keep on going where they're going, they'll be the ones to play, hopefully Vegas in the championship, and we'll see where the Cards, play where they go.
That's exactly a good point. I mean, yeah, the playoffs in New York City is going to be exciting for the New York Liberty. We know for a fact that I'm just glad that unlike the last few seasons, the Liberty could just rest up, get whatever wins they can, and just get ready for postseason. That's pretty much all I can say about that at this point.
Yeah. And I feel as long as they can, get the best record in their side of the conference, I feel comfortable with them with home court. They play, phenomenal at home. They've been very successful on the road as well too. So it's not like they cannot play it in any sort of environment. And one game at a time. The rest is up to them. But like I went into with the clip, when she made that comment at that time, yes, the Liberty can be overrated. And I think they were all still trying to gel and figure their stuff out. Even Jones, she said to make comments, she's like, I was trying to fit in and find my place. And then even though she did, she's like, eventually I had to just kick in the door and just play my game. And then, let everybody's game now interfuse and work together. Bree got into a good rhythm, into her groove. Sabrina got it. So, it took time. And then remember, like Laney was a player that played a lot more. She still plays a lot now, but she had a different role in the last 1 or 2 years where compared to getting to a Liberty team that really wasn't that good. So at one point, it's just really her and Sabrina, young puppets coming up. So she had a lot more shots and a lot more of a role offensively because of what the team didn't have at that time. Now you have a team loaded. Sabrina can score 30-40. Bree can score 30-40. Jones can go for 20-30. Johansson can get hot and go for 15. We know Vandersloot can score anywhere from 10. We've seen her score 30-40 in this. I'm saying there's so many players on. Laney can go for 20-30. So now there's so many different players that can score on the team. They all had to figure out their gel. And some of Sandy's things, sometimes as a coach, and sometimes we really do have to be patient. Sometimes, even the good coaches, sometimes at first things don't work right away. And sometimes you don't see it. And then over time, when you get the right point of certain things and you see things, you're like, all right, that's what they were doing. And sometimes certain, philosophies coaches have don't work a certain way till you have a certain players. and Sandy, things started working a little bit more differently. So, like I said, the Liberty season is bright, and hopefully they can continue it and win the conference and go to the finals and probably play against the Aces.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad we're going to see some playoff games in the month of September for the New York Liberty at least, because you're not going to see any kind of playoff chase for the New York Yankees as they're below 500 this late in the season for the first time since 1995 at 60 and 61, 6.5 games out of the wild card. So, thoughts? You were right all along. Before you say anything, you were right all along. This Yankees team, I don't know what happened to the New York Yankees. They're egregious. You were right for telling people not to talk baseball. You were right all along. You were right all along. Thoughts?
Well, first, let me sip my tea. Like Kermit the Frog. First of all, what is wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all always start off this narrative and say the Yankees is bad. Let me tell you something. The Yankees and the Mets are bad. Don't forget about, I know you're a Yankee fan, but you actually have more love for the Mets. You're more of a Mets fan, really. So don't think I forgot that. So don't leave out the part that not only are the Yankees bad, but we're still...
the Mets are 500. The Mets are used to having losing seasons. But the Yankees being a sub-500 team this late in the season, that's never happened since 1995. But before that, they were winning World Series championships. So let's be fair. They do have the most World Series wins, but they haven't been there since 2009. We're in 2023. The Yankees have 500. The Yankees have a sub 500 record. I'm sorry, Ryan. I mean, I root for both New York teams. Let's clarify. I had to get this out. The Yankees are one game below 500. What was that?
How many games are the Mets below 500?
They're 12 games below 500, but this is a bigger deal for the Yankees because they've never been this bad this late in the season in a while. Even the years when they missed it, the Yankees had a plus 500 record at the very least. Let's not forget that.
Well, one, the season is not over. So let's be fair. I'm not saying they're not going to the playoffs, but the season numerically is not over. The season numerically is not over, so we don't know how the number will finish because they probably.
Obviously that's going to change as the season. Obviously that's going to change the flow of the season. The Yankees could still at the very least go above 500.
This is totally. This is the problem. I'm telling you, I'm going to write a book about New York mentalities of Giants, Jets, Yankees, Mets. I really am, because Jets and Mets stronger perspectives share the same ideologies and thinking that Giants and Yankees fans usually do. And it's usually that correspondence. Sometimes you find a different mix or whatever, but with me just being psychotic about this, you're going to say, which is right, and it's a correct stat, the Yankees have not been this bad in a while, right? But they've had years, because I'm just so frequent with the season, they've had years over the last decade where they have not went to the postseason, where they were just in the little wild card playing whatever crap, and I don't think their record finished. They might have been one year where they were like 3 games under 500 when the season ended, once or twice a year and there. But nevertheless, just because the expectations have been bad or lower for the Mets doesn't excuse the fact that they stink too. So when you open up a conversation about the Yankees are bad, the Mets are in the same conversation too. This is not a one-way street. This is a two-way street. And I'm going to tell you why it's a two-way street. And the Yankees stink. And just like I told everybody early in the year, both teams are really not, don't talk to me about anything about what they do, what they look like on paper. Because if you ask everybody this 5 months ago, and I'm going to do the same thing with the Jets and the Giants, I'm going to open up a different topic. I'm so happy that everything is working out this way. Because I'm watching the same thing going on now with the Jets and the Giants, and I'm just sitting back and laughing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to eat this up. if things work out the way I think it's going to work out by the end of the year. Nevertheless, the Mets will say the Mets won 101 games last year.
Mm-hmm. That's
right. I mean, they won 100 plus games. They were honestly, especially off Atlanta's injuries, they were the most talented team in their division. Right? They did not win their division because they blew it in the last week and a half when the Braves kicked their butts and swept them, right? And won. So they had to play the Padres in the first round, who they were more talented than on paper, regardless of the big guys that make the money there. But we see the Padres have been up and down. So they were more talented on paper with the home field, and they lost. And now this year, they go into the season with this trillionaire guy with all this money, right? And see, how dare this could never be the Yankees. This could never be Duke if it was Duke for me if I like them. This could never be the Giants. Only the Mets get away with this. They have the highest payroll in the history of professional sports for 1 year. I'll say it again. Since you want to tell me about all the numbers, they have the highest 1 year payroll in the history of sports, higher than NFL, higher than NBA, higher than MLB, higher than NHL, higher than
the Mets suck.
Soccer.
And the Mets, and the New York Mets suck. They traded Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander during the trade deadline because they want to be sellers instead of buyers. When they knew they weren't going to go anywhere after the way they played at the beginning of the year. They had a bad month of June. Pete Alonso was out for a couple of weeks due to injuries, and the rest of the bats just didn't show up to play. It's just bad to watch.
Well, this is what I'm saying. If the Yankees would have had the highest payroll in professional sports and would have been doing right now, what would you have said? You would have been ripping me more. You're ripping me, and they're one game under 500, and they don't have the highest payroll ever. If this was the Knicks, if the Knicks had the highest payroll history, and the Knicks don't win with anybody in sports. So if the Knicks had the highest payroll in the history of sports and they were bad, it would never be the end of the conversation. The Mets are getting swept underneath the rug that they have the highest payroll ever in the professional sports life, and they stink. They've been out of the race from a month ago. They've been 13, 14 games back in their division. They're probably 20-something games back in their division. So we stink 100%. We're bad. I'm telling you. I knew they were going to be bad. I said, I don't believe in this. I'm not sold. Call me in the end of the year when they make a run because I don't see it. But we're not going to escape that both teams stink. And they both stinking it up in New York. And that is the truest narrative. I just know it would be a different conversation if the Yankees are the higher payroll. And you do not get an excuse because the expectations have been better over the last umpteenth years. And because of that, the Mets are bad. They put bad players together. They overpaid a lot of guys. They had to give the guys away. They still got to pay some of the guys. They have to pay Pete Alonso when it's time for him to pay Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso just had 37 home runs, just notched his 37th home run against the Cardinals. That's pretty much the only thing about the Mets.
Gotta pay him, and they're bad, and we're bad, and New York baseball is done. The Yankees have a lot of changing to do with the direction of how they're going with the team. In my opinion, I've been saying for a long time. This is the first time I'm starting to hear grumbles about people are not too happy with Aaron Boone. It's supposed to, but duh! What was it going to take? What was? Listen, God bless him. I don't want to have no man's job taken away, but no, they need a different voice in the locker room, and there has to be something just changed in the whole. George Steinbrenner would be turning over in his grave, and it has to change. It's not good. They won't. They'll probably get to 75 to 85 wins, if that, if they're lucky. And they're bad. The Mets are bad, and baseball in this town is It's done. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, you're right. This is just we could talk about. But on to the very next topic. As you saw on my Instagram and my YouTube, I've had an ESPN associate producer Tatiyana Smallwood come on the show, and we talked about many different things. But one thing we talked about is a love for the New York Giants. We talked about how much he enjoyed the Super Bowl wins in 07 and 2011 at the beginning and end of his sports media career. And shout out to Tatiyana Smallwood. I love the fact that you were on the show. But after that, we had a conversation asking her about her win-loss projections, and she predicted that the New York Giants would go 12-5. 12-5. The losses will come against Miami, Buffalo, Dallas, San Francisco, and Philadelphia. Are you surprised?
Man. Well, first things first. I mean, I'm as a Giants fan. That's always happy. I'm always happy to hear that number. For us. I just try to be so realistic, and try to just the NFL has so much parity. The NFL is the only sport from all the major professional sports where the NBA is sort of trying to get like that now, but the NFL has so much parity. You can be the top dogs one year and be the middle of the pack or nothing relax, and somebody at the bottom can be the top, and middle core and so on and so forth. There's just so much more disparity with that in the NFL, which is great, and that's why it makes the sport so great. But 12-5 is a big boy record, and I'm not saying they can't get it. And she predicted it. Listen, I'm riding with you. You'll make my next 17 more weeks most fabulous 17 weeks if we can go 12-5. Okay, so I have 10-7 now. What I did last year? I went 7-9. I really 7-10, right? No, 7-10.
7-10.
I said, listen, that's my number. She ripped me. Oh, God, you're a fake fan. Oh, Ryan, what kind of person? Oh, you're not a type. I said, brother, I don't know what is wrong with you guys.
They had 6 years in a row where they had a losing record prior to last year before they returned to playoffs. So I get why you made that prediction.
Listen, if you live in your neighborhood and you go around the corner and the kids are selling drugs, and you go the next day and they selling drugs, and you go the next day and they selling drugs, and just a metaphor, and you go the next day they selling drugs, you ain't gonna think that the 7th day you go outside, they're not gonna be selling drugs there no more, because that's what you're already used to. And like you said, the Giants had so many bad years: 4-12, 3-13, 6-10, 6-10, 5-11. So how did you want me to wake up and say, you know what? They're going 14-2. They're going to go 9-6-1. Whoever predicted 9-6-1, please show me them, because that's a damn lie. Because first of all, who the heck thought they would get a tie against the Washington Commanders, for crying out loud? Don't even know what their team is anymore.
That's disgusting. Listen, we don't want ties to the NFL. Let's just agree to that.
And yes, oh my God, but it's quicker for the regular season, I guess. But those ties can be so crucial. It can be make or break you sometimes. And but 12-5, I'll take it. I have 10-7. This is the biggest realistic barrier for me, Rafique, as a Giants fan. The Giants have to find a way to at least. And I guess going off what she's saying there and what they told me with the matchups, and what I'm saying would be something that she's saying they're going to accomplish this year. The Giants have been absolutely terrible against the Eagles and the Cowboys for the last 6 years.
And she predicted that the Giants would win one game against the Cowboys and the Eagles. They would win against the Cowboys the first week of the season. And then she picked them to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, even though the Diamondbacks are bad, we don't know what we're going to get out of them. She also predicted that win against
Diamondbacks, the Cardinals.
Excuse me, Arizona Cardinals. My bad. Arizona Cardinals. My bad. I mean, she also predicted that they would defeat the Las Vegas Raiders on the road in Vegas. We don't know what we're gonna get from Vegas, but I guess you want to play it safe and pick them to win.
If we go 10-7 and go to the playoffs and lose a game, or 10-7 and go to the playoffs and win one playoff game and go home, I am absolutely happy. So put me on record and let's put this show down in print. I'm absolutely happy. I would love for it to be 12-5. We're also in the tough division too. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the division, and whether we like it or not, always pains me to say Philadelphia is better than us. The Philadelphia Eagles are really good. They have a lot of talent. You know who their quarterback is. They're stocked up again. Yeah,
they picked up a decent defensive player during the NFL draft.
They're predicted to be really good again. So you're possibly looking at a 12 to a 13 to maybe even a 14 win team right there. Your margin of error is very slim. You understand what I'm trying to say? And the Cowboys, whether we like them or not, by accident, the Cowboys are going to win 9 to 11 games. Okay? So our margin for error week by week is not that slim. And we have to take into a credit that now, because we were decent last year and went to the playoffs, our schedule is a little bit more beefed up. And we have the Niners on the schedule. We have the Jets on the schedule. We have the whole AFC East on the schedule, which is Buffalo, Miami, and
the New England Patriots.
New England. We have games on the schedule that we have to play, because if not, and last year the Giants were under the radar, because let's be completely frank for the people that know football and talk no football. The Giants had Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley offensively. Okay? And remember, Daniel Jones wasn't blowing anybody out the rafters the first couple of years. He played on Giants teams that had horrific coaches, horrific offensive lines. He's been running for his life his whole career, except for last year. And now he finally got stability with a good GM, a good coach, somebody who believes in him, showed him the right way. He's got big money. He also has to live up to the money as well too now, right? You got paid. So he has this 1 year. Saquon Barkley completely back a year and a half off the ACL joint, right? Now Saquon is himself. So now he has Saquon on the target. Can you don't look on your computer? Can you tell me the receivers' names on the Giants last year? I'll wait.
Sterling Shepard.
He tore his ACL week 2. No, week 3. Go ahead, next.
Oh man, what's the name? It's hard to name off. It's hard to name. It's hard to name.
Oh, wait. No problem.
I can't wait. Nah.
We got long night. We got long. I'll tell you. They had Richie James, who was a third receiver, fourth receiver, the most in his life. No disrespect, Richie James had a good season last year. I think he went to the Pro Bowl by accident. Special teams and everything. Whatever. But maybe not. Listen, he's a good player. He's a professional. He has a family. He's not a scrub. But he's not a one receiver. He's a third most. He actually was a kick returner, punt returner specialist. We had no choice at receiver, and because we have good coaches, thank God, and we do things the right way, we play a certain way and discipline. And remember, they had to believe. They had to believe in Brian Daboll. They really did. And you have a good memory that game 1, when they played Tennessee and they went for it on 4th down, and they got them 4th downs, that changed the whole Giants season. They all started believing. And they said, you know what, we could win with this coach. We can win with this guy. You know what? I'm gonna buy in. And so Jones had to prove a lot of things and did that this year. Saquon had to play well, which he did as well. They had Richie James, like I told you, third receiver the most. Isaiah Hodgkins, they picked him up after the Broncos cut him. And because he had a good nucleus.
They got on Darius Slayton,
who is our draft pick from about 3 years ago and has a lot of talent and upside and can play. He's not a scrub. However, Slayton used to have a little bit of injury issues here and there throughout his career. but still played most of the time. And I love Slayton. Every once in a while, he drops the football, right?
Yes, he does.
Right?
How many times have we seen him do that this last year?
So since we've been talking real about the teams we know, we watch, and we love. So Slayton has propensities to do those plays, even though as a rookie, he had a really good rookie year. He had a really good second year as well, too. You know, I mean, decent second year. But he's not, he needs other receivers around him, too, in order to be Darius Slayton. The core they got now and the kids they got, first of all, this season, watch out. Watch out how they have a track meet. That's all I'm gonna say. Because they got some boys.
Hold up.
Backs.
It's understandable, but hold on. Before I continue letting you talk, I gotta let you listen to what she made, why she made the picks that she made.
That's great. Absolutely. Let's go. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And speaking of the wins, that'll be a good transition because we got the schedule. Obviously, they open up the season against the Dallas Cowboys. You know how the Cowboys are, especially during playoff time. I mean, during the regular season, they've shown that they can be a threat. It's just a matter of what they do in the playoffs. Even though they did defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's good. They're not really in the Super Bowl tier yet. But that being said, and speaking of the wins, that'll be a good transition because we got the schedule. Obviously, they open up the season against the Dallas Cowboys. You know how the Cowboys are, especially during playoff time. I mean, during the regular season, they've shown that they can be a threat. It's just a matter of what they do in the playoffs. Even though they did defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's good. They're not really in the Super Bowl tier yet. But that being said, let's go. Like, what's predict your win-loss record? What about starting with the Cowboys?
Oh man, week 1. I'm dreading this because I really don't know. Like, I always go into it with hope, saying that we're gonna get the W. Last year, I went to the Cowboys-Giants game when they came to MetLife, was talking shit halfway through the game, and then once Ezekiel Elliott, I think it was either Ezekiel Elliott or Tony Pollard scored a touchdown, like, coming out the halftime, and from there it just went downhill. So, hey, oh my God, this one is honestly the hardest one within the first 5 games. I would say that we'll probably get the W. I'm gonna be confident and positive. Say we'll get the W for this one.
Okay, Arizona Cardinals on the road.
W.
Okay, fair enough. San Francisco 49ers on the road as well.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say an L for that one.
Yeah, I mean, if Brock Purdy puts up a series, becomes the Brock Purdy that we saw last season where he led the San Francisco 49ers all the way up to the NFC title game, only to get smoked by the Eagles, then we might be in for a huge run. Then comes the Seattle Seahawks.
W.
Yeah, we had to avenge that loss against the Seattle Seahawks last year. We have to.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. W.
After that, week 5 on the road in your hometown state. Not your hometown, not the hometown Orlando, but hometown state, Florida. And it's Miami. It gets the Miami Dolphins. Do you think they win that one?
See, the thing is, it's so hard with these because it's like I have so many question marks about the other teams versus us. Like, Niners, I have questions about them because their quarterback situation. Same with the Dolphins. Like, I think the Dolphins are actually going to be really good this year, and I think if Tua stays healthy, I think they have a good chance to even win that division. So, to be honest, as much as I do want to say that we're going to come down to Miami and take home a W, I think by then, a healthy Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle is looking kind of scary. So I'm gonna we'll take the L for that one.
Fair enough. How about they get the Buffalo Bills on the road?
I'm gonna say an L for that one.
Fair enough. Washington Commanders.
W. We're not losing. We're not losing to the Commanders this year. If we do, I'm gonna be upset. Very upset.
Even more upset than when we tied with them.
Honestly, yeah, no, because I would. That tie just looks so ugly. It just looks so the and one at the end is just such a put off. It's just such a put off. I'd rather us lose than freaking tie again. Honestly, that was just weird.
Yeah, we cannot tie with the Commanders. Okay.
Yeah.
The New York Jets. You see what he picked up at Aaron Rodgers, right? They're expected to at minimum win the division and get out the first round. I mean, like before I make like, do you think the Giants can defeat the New York Jets led by Aaron Rodgers?
Well, we beat the Green Bay Packers led by Aaron Rodgers last year in London. So I think we could do it again. Obviously, the Jets have way more offensive skill than the Green Bay Packers did last year. So it'll be a more difficult task. But that's one of those games where it's like there's going to be so much tension because we're both, you know how it is, New York Jets and Giants games. But it's going to be I feel like it's going to be more about how like the energy, and it's going to be more about the focus and the discipline to win that game. I don't think that game's going to be about talent. I think it's going to be mainly about effort for sure.
Yeah. But do you see this being a victory or a loss?
Let's say a victory.
Okay. Let's see. Week 9, they got the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, well, obviously we don't know what type of like a Vegas Raiders team we're gonna get. I mean, they won some close games. They had that crazy win. They capitalized on that stupid play by the New England Patriots, which they managed to get a win against the Seattle Seahawks. So, do you see the Giants going down to Las Vegas and getting that W?
Absolutely. We got to do it for Darren Waller. That's what that is. So, absolutely.
Okay. Week 10, we face the Cowboys again, only this time on the road, November 12th. Do you see that a win?
Oh man, the Cowboys have so many question marks too. I can't say it's gonna be really hard to beat the Cowboys twice. So let's make it even and say an L.
Okay. Okay. Now we get to week 11 against the Washington Commanders on the road. You see the Giants, they barely won last year on the road after an interception. But do you see them get done this time? Well, not really an interception. They just made a goal line stand, but yeah. Do you see them get it done again?
Yeah, we gotta swoop the Commanders this year. It's not, they got too many moving parts. Sam Howell's their freaking quarterback. Like, yeah, we gotta take 2 W's, nothing less.
Yeah, that's exactly important. Now, week 12 against New England Patriots. Only this will be the first time the Giants face the New England Patriots by a quarterback that's not named Tom Brady. So, do you see the Giants winning this one at MetLife?
Definitely. I already have some pretty big wagers on that game, so definitely standing 10 toes down, saying that we're gonna take the W in that one. That's probably one of the ones I'm like, the Cardinals and the Patriots are one of the ones I'm very least worried about this season for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can bet your house money on those games. I mean, seriously. Okay. Week 13, they're on bye. Week 14, Green Bay Packers at home on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, Jordan Love, new quarterback. Yeah, I'm gonna go with another W.
Okay, fair enough. On the road, they face the New Orleans Saints. Do you see them win that one?
Yes.
Week 16 against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road.
Nah, that's gonna be a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a tough ask. So, yeah, it's that one's probably gonna be a nasty L. Not a regular L, probably a nasty one at that.
Okay. Week 17 against the Los Angeles Rams at home. Now, to be fair, even though the Rams were egregious last year, they have beaten up the Giants the last 3 meetings against them. So we don't know what type of Los Angeles Rams team we're going to get this year.
Yeah, I think that I'm not really too concerned about the Rams this year either, so I'm gonna go with W.
Okay, so yeah.
Where we at?
So yeah, after that, they finished the season at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now look, by that time, the Eagles are probably going to have a playoff spot in the division clinch. So, but regardless, do you see the Giants winning the game on January 7th?
We got to take one. We got to take at least one. So yeah,
Okay.
W.
Okay, so yeah.
So where does that put our record at by that point?
Yeah, at that point, you probably had to do your Giants fit. You probably had to do a Giants beat about 12-5.
That's a big ask. I'm like, 12-5 is a big ask. Okay.
Okay, now that you have listened to my receipt from the last episode when Tatiyana Smallwood from ESPN came on, so do you agree with some of her win predictions as opposed to her loss predictions?
Yes, and I mean, listen, I have 10-7, so that's just 2 off from whatever from there. It is so we all do that too. I still will do that in the schedule, but like I hate to sound so cliche. It's just so difficult to look on that schedule and go from a whole 17 weeks and say, yeah, 12 and 5, because here goes the big deal. The Giants got decent last year, and even to go into before we go direct to clear up the last point, Daniel Jones was going to not great receivers last year and had very good numbers. He has a lot of good targets and speed demons now. The kid Hyatt they drafted, Shepard will be back, of course, healthy. If you like a 4th or 5th receiver, Slayton will have other targets with him now. He got Speed Wallers there. I'll see he comes back. The Giants have to figure out how to beat Philadelphia or Dallas. I said this to you last year as well too, and at the end of the year. Until they figure out how to split with them, they're going to have issues, because now in your division, you're going to hope to have to sweep the Redskins, the Commanders, like you normally do, excluding this year, which look, see, the tie, how it can make everything a little bit more interesting. Because if you don't sweep the Commanders, you have 4 other losses in your division guaranteed, which means now out of the division games and the other conference games, you have to be very good against the other teams in order to get the type of mathematical schedules that we talk about. Those 12-5 schedules mean, Rafique, that even if you're not talent-wise, numerically, you're a top team in the NFL, big guy. That's 17 weeks, and you're winning 12. This is Kansas City Chiefs numbers. This is the Cincinnati Bengals numbers. You know what I'm saying? These are Tom Brady when he's playing a team type of numerical numbers. Not saying that we cannot do. Philadelphia is expected to win 13 games. You know what I'm saying? And you see how she said something about, and even when you're asking the games about the Cowboys and the Giants thing against the Cowboys, she's not too sure about that. She says the Cowboys, first of all, I hate when they put the Giants and the Cowboys first. Because both games, no matter what, if you lose that game as a division person, you're practically 0-2 already, because you lost the game and you lost in division. So now it's like your next division games, at least the next 2, you're going to want to win just to get to 2-1, because it's a tough start to start off 0-2 in division. Nevertheless, they put that game first. Both teams are good. The Giants are going to have to find a way to capitalize and play a whole game to beat the Dallas Cowboys to end that stigma. Because trust me, which they deserve. First of all, Dallas Cowboys fans are the biggest arrogant pompous jerks in the whole entire NFL for whatever reason. We don't know why anymore. You know what I mean? And so on top of them, they love to gloat. So the first thing, which we have nothing. That's why I tell guys to stop our fighting with them until we win. We have nothing to say for them. We haven't beat them like in 5 years. So they already think that the 2 games against the Giants is guaranteed win. I can promise you that. A Cowboy fan will bet his life. All right? So he will bet his life. So we have to beat that stigma. And Philadelphia, as a blue-collar city, knows that. They've owned us the last few years, too. They're not as arrogant to an extent as the Eagles, the Cowboys per se, but they have a stigma that when they play, like, oh yeah, we play the Giants, but we're going to beat them. We know that. They got to get that out the way first, the Giants. And if they can find a way to do that, now this team is moving forward. But I'm not scared with anything else. I love the organization. I love our coaching. I love the fact that the Jets is the biggest thing to talk about. They just got Dalvin Cook. I don't want to be talked about. I want it all to be paid attention to the Jets. For the Giants to just play a regular season, go under the radar, not be the big topic, and just have a good season from there. So as long as they can find a way to win the games in their division, they got better defensively as well too. And they were playing pretty good last year with guys that were regular guys on defense. So with that front line that they have a few more linebackers and safeties. They'll be all right. I got them at 10-7. I can't go on that week by week stuff because, and here goes the biggest thing. Injuries have a big play to do with the NFL. So you could look on the schedule and say, yeah, we play this team then, but what's going on with their injuries, their health, and how they're playing at that time has a whole different story than what's going on. So you can predict in November, yeah, we can win this game, and then you play them in November and you lost 3 straight, and they're hot. So the schedule, there's a lot of games there that look like all right, the Saints game, that looks like you can win, but it's still hard to play in New Orleans. You understand what I'm saying? There's she made it clear.
Carr is the quarterback for the New Orleans Saints now. A lot of people forget. You can't forget that.
The Giants in the first 3 games can go 0-3 if not careful. So it depends on how the Cowboys game is going to be key. They have the Niners week 3, so they better win week 2 so that when they get into a good stretch. So there are a lot of tough games on that schedule, and one week at a time. Let's try to find a way to beat this mental phobia and beat the Cowboys the first game so you get that division game and you can get off to a good start. It's probably going to be better. Who do they have week 2?
Yeah, week 2 they have the Arizona Cardinals.
If they can go into the Niners game 2-0, that's a lot more better than 1-1.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I mean, we already got Tatiyana Smallwood's predictions. Let's just get to your predictions about the New York Giants. I know you just say you don't like going on week by week, but only because it's worth talking about. Do you have them win against the Cowboys in week 1 at home?
Yes, but yeah, but no, but yeah. For what I'm thinking, what they're gonna finish, yes.
Okay. Week 2, Arizona Cardinals on the road.
Yeah, they'll beat the Cardinals.
Week 3, I think you just said they're going to lose to the San Francisco 49ers.
Lose to the Niners, most likely.
Week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks.
In Giants Stadium? Pardon me, in MetLife Stadium?
Yes.
Yeah, they do beat Seattle. They get back to win. Seattle's a good team. I'm not. You know how I feel about Geno Smith. but he's playing serviceable good quarterback football with them. They have a good core. I love their running back. Walker the third is absolutely a stud. And the defense will be better, but the Giants will redeem themselves. They lost a very close game to Seattle last year that we talked about. Richie James had 2 fumbles on punt returns. So that didn't help towards the game either, which he eventually got better with that later during the year. So the Giants will win that game and have to win that game. And also, I will go back to the first point, even though I picked the Cowboys to win. Remember, the Giants have not beat the Cowboys in the last 6 seasons. But go ahead. The Seahawks will get that game. They go to 3-1.
Yeah, and it's on Monday Night Football too. Just letting you know. Oh yeah. On to the very next matchup. On the road against the Miami Dolphins. Do you see that as a win or a loss?
They lose to the Dolphins. They go 4-2.
Okay. Buffalo Bills, week 6.
In Buffalo.
They lose?
Yeah, they lose that game.
Okay. Washington Commanders at home.
They win.
New York Jets at home.
And believe it or not, we win.
Okay. I see you. On the road against Las Vegas Raiders, week 9.
They win that game as well, too.
On the road against the Dallas Cowboys, week 10.
They lose.
On the road against the Washington Commanders.
They win.
At home against the New England Patriots.
Let me come back to that one. Let me go to the next week. I'll come right back to that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who's the team after that they play?
They have a bye week in week 13, and then week 14, they play the Green Bay Packers.
What's their record do I have up to the point before I pick the Patriots game?
You have them at about 7-4. You watched about the game against the Patriots, but before that, you had them at 7-4.
All right, so they lose to the Patriots. They go 1-3 against the AFC East. They only win against the Jets. So they lose to the Patriots.
So you got them lose to the Patriots, okay?
Even though I think they're better than the Patriots, but I'm just going with 10-7 and trying to be realistic and what I'm saying, with a whole projection. But they're better than the Patriots. They should beat the Patriots. Patriots are not slouches. They did actually hit a lot better defensively, a lot of other things, and their quarterback will be healthy and fine. But they lose to the Patriots. They have the bye week. They go into the bye week with a loss.
Mm-hmm. And I already said the opponent for week 14, Green Bay Packers.
They beat Green Bay.
Okay. New Orleans Saints on the road.
They beat the Saints, and let me also say too, Jordan Love is a lot better than what people think that he will be, and he will eventually play well in the NFL. But that's neither here nor there for Green Bay. But they beat Green Bay and they beat the Saints.
Okay. Philadelphia Eagles.
They lose.
Los Angeles Rams at home.
They win.
And at home against the Philadelphia Eagles.
They tie.
Oh, don't do that. You hate ties.
They tie. Last game of the season. I do hate it. They tie. What I got? 10-6-1.
Okay, you got them. So you had about like 10. So you got about like 10-6-1.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right there. That's it, right there. They go to playoffs 10-6-1, baby.
Man, you trying to be realistic with yourself, Ryan. You really don't. You really disagree. You pretty much, yeah. You disagree with some of the games that Tatiana said that I showed you, I made you listen to. So, yeah.
I'm all right with 10-6-1. I'm all right. Anything else? See, if the Lord does us well. Last year I said 7-9. They finished 2 games better than that, right? With a tie. So if I pick 10-7, then what she says will come to true because they'll go 12-5, and this will all be a happy conversation for us in about a couple of months. So I just respect the NFL. I respect the schedule. I know how you got to play sometimes, and them winning in division will be key first. Maybe it's good that they have Philadelphia so later on in the season, but and even some of the games that I predicted were like I think we can win the Miami game, but I respect Miami. I think we're better than New England. I think the Jets-Giants game is going to be so. Both teams are going to be riled up, and they should be. It's crazy because it's a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry to me. But because we don't play all the time, but preseason once a year, yeah, it's preseason. Every 4 years is when they play. Now, I think the Giants are going to be riled up because, like I said, everything is about the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is going to go on the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is there, Hall of Fame quarterback. He's supposed to save the franchise, bring them a bowl first time since 1969. They just got Dalvin Cook. He's not Dalvin Cook like he was 4 or 5 years ago, but still a very serviceable running back who had 1,000 yards rushing, several seasons like that. He can play. They have a young core of really good receivers. They will have Brees Hall, their young running back, coming back, but who knows how much that situation, I guess, is going to be sharing out of the football when he gets healthy because they just got Dalvin Cook. Unless that also means that Brees Hall is not coming back as fast as they think, and they're just trying to gradually have him come along. But they have talent on offense. They have talent on defense. They have a very good coach. They see, what's so funny about their scenario is that it's like everybody's like guaranteeing they're going to win the division. I'm like, that's a guaranteed bunch of crap. Like, there's no guarantee. Buffalo, I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. And I know football, and the Jets are super talented. Again, let me say that again. They are super talented on paper.
Dalvin Cook.
Really good. I just said that. They picked up Dalvin Cook at running back. They're super talented. Paper don't win football games, and also on top of paper not winning football games, here goes the other thing. The Buffalo Bills are still the better team in that division. I don't care what nobody want to tell me. Josh Allen at this point is better than Aaron Rodgers in his life and career. I'm not saying not career. Josh Allen right now is better than Aaron Rodgers. Not the career. We're not talking about the career. We don't know where Josh Allen has time to surpass things in Aaron Rodgers' career, but that's neither here nor there. But the Bills are the best team in the AFC East still to this moment. Not by leaps and bounds. The Jets is really talented. But then also remember this too. Miami is really good. And there are many people that have Miami winning the division because they're loaded on defense. And the Tua, finally healthy back, formidable backup they picked up from the Jets. And the array of weapons with Waddle and Hill and the running back and what they can do there, they're expected to be very good. So that division is going to be a crapshoot. They're all going to be fighting against each other. And believe it or not, New England is not bad. New England had some bad injuries last year and some little bit, but they played and New England still swept the Jets last year. Not going to say that's going to happen this year, but they still did. So there are things they have to tackle there first on top of the AFC. Yeah, their schedule is a lot better than it was last year. And the AFC is loaded with good teams and quarterbacks. So both teams have their hands filled. I just think that the Giants are going to take that seriously because, believe it or not, it's like the Giants have a lot of talent in the locker room. I'm paying attention to what's going on. I'm just not talking about everything when I'm paying attention. And football's going to start soon. there's just as much talent in the locker room as what the Jets have over there. The Jets just have the bigger name quarterback and some bigger name studs in certain positions. But I think it's very disrespectful too that the Jets did not qualify for the postseason because of quarterback play. We know this, but they didn't. And the Giants did qualify for postseason last year. And we're the one being talked about like being pissed, and they're the one talked about like they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Bro, it's fine. We just want to have a regular season. 10-7 is cool. Get into the postseason, see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens indeed. And yeah, for the past 20 and 30 minutes, you can't feel your face after this episode so far, can you?
Oh, absolutely not.
Can you feel your face? Because that's just the type of mentality that we had in Nike Pro City earlier this week, as I can't feel my face, walked away with the title. Yeah, too bad James and Wayne couldn't win at Dykeman later in the week. So what are your overall thoughts, assuming that you can feel your face?
Oh man, well just what a way to end some of the summer league tournaments. Pro City was really good. I was there for the beginning of Pro City, the start, the first game, and at the end, and the last game. So very very happy for Twin Sauce. As we know, but Twin, the coach's strong game. I mean, sorry, I can't feel my face because we can't feel our face. And I actually was 2 nights ago after Dykeman. We were in Harlem. We all met back up at the old neighborhood in Sugar Hill, and Twin was there. We were talking some good basketball stuff and chopping it up. So that was very cool. And I just told him I definitely was proud that they won Pro City. I told him now he got to try to win Hoopsville and then try to come win Crunch Time indoor. You know what I mean? To do the trilogy for indoor pro-ams. And all they played well all season. Josh James played very solid for them all year. Juju, young upcoming, played well for them too. They were loaded. They had a Tyreek Phillips buzzer beater one time. Wiley played solid basketball for them. They made a good acquisition with Jordan Parks. Shout out to Long Island. Shout out to Hempstead for coming. Jordan Parks was key for them. Josh James played the whole. That's what we think. We think they should have had a regular season MVP, which was in Josh James, and they should have had a Finals MVP. We think that Jordan played better in the game. He had 24 and 9 rebounds, but I see why they gave to Josh. Had like 20 and like 4 assists, and his whole season.
He had one of the best 2 plays in the Nike Pro City season. Trust me, I was there for all the games. I can't feel my face. Was proud to win, and yeah, they can't feel their face after they pulled it off. They were proud to win the championship. So yeah, seeing the way they put together, especially late game situations, was just amazing.
Amazing. They played well. They were coached well the whole year. They deserved it. All the core guys were there. It was a good win for them, and great win for the program. And win Pro City. Winning Pro City in New York means something. That's huge. Nobody can ever take that away. And when you can win Pro City as a Pro City team, as a coach, whatever, that means at some point you have one of the top teams in New York for Pro-Am, and he's had a very good run, and that was big time for them. I can't feel my face didn't have a team at Dykeman, but most of the players played on the 9, and they didn't. Yep, they weren't victorious at Dykeman, even though that was a great day. Thank God. Everything finally was right. Nobody was all over the court. They got to play basketball on that side, and with the new park and the new dimensions, it was a great championship day. They didn't take the title there, but they did in Pro City, and that was amazing. And as we can see, it's been just a phenomenal summer. Just coming to the end. Shout out, which I know you're going to be with anyway. Shout out to Gersh boys, Gersh girls at NY Classic.
Yeah, Nikki Avery carried no limits to the Gersh Park Championship. The boys couldn't complete the men's side couldn't do their championship series because they conflicted with Zone 6 championship, as you mentioned over the phone earlier today, and that's something you want to avoid. And of course, I had a chance to actually attend what was literally Gersh Park versus Ferris World game, and obviously, see for the men's side, obviously for both sides, Gershbart dominated. Yeah, Nikki Avery, yeah, and the rest of the squad for Gershbart was dominating Ferris World. I guess don't really have that great of a team, but yeah, that should be interesting. That was, or matter of fact, or should I say, it was an interesting week in summer basketball. And I just watched Nikki Avery's Unlimited team lose a championship round at the Pro Rose Classic down at Post PK. Yeah, tough loss, but at least you got the win in Gersh, so it's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't tonight. I was watching a little bit online. Ferris, I pretty much probably was a good environment. Did you stay all the way through?
No, I just watched the women's game and went home because that was just, I knew I liked the way it was going. I'm glad I didn't need to stay the rest of the second half because they were Bruno and smithereens. So yeah.
Good. Gersh did another good thing this weekend with that. And the summer, right? Everything's coming to an end. Ferris World had a great championship. Dykeman ended great. Gersh finally completed the whole saga today. I think Dykeman probably has like the high school and the junior high school to complete, and the last one, the women's. Actually, the women's won their pro chip. The last of the girls' high school, I guess we got to complete that as well. Hoops in the Sun is coming to end their Final Fours this weekend. So everything is just wind down. We made sure we ended our summer early, the crunch time. But even with that, I just said to you the other day, I'm like, man, I just can't wait to finish up the last of traveling to these summer games and then going to Canada next week, having a slight vacation, to work vacation. And coming back till September, I can just take a little break. I mean, I'm still gonna do stuff, but not the heck the running around and busyness of the summer basketball and everything. And as soon as I do that, I'm speaking to Rev, and Rev's like, yo, we got interviews to do. I got this big thing I'm gonna talk to you off the air too that we're gonna be doing with the Long Island Nets. That's coming up soon. And my guy just called me when I was coming here asking me if I could do an announcement on Sunday. So I told him it depends on, if they just need somebody for Sunday. And there's so many other things that popped up as well too. So I'm like, wow, I'm like trying to take a break. And he's like, oh yeah, and Rev's like, oh, 3-4 weeks, and then we're gonna be back at it for this again. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, listen, I was thinking about crunch time in December or January, right? But there's still things that pop up. At least the summer is coming to a good close. Slam Classic is this weekend. So,
that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Of course, you're not going to see any coverage. You're not going to see any coverage of Saints Summer Classic in real life, at least. But once I started watching the street, if you're going all the way up there, have fun. But how Summer Classic can be if you don't have everything filled up early.
I'm not entertaining that no more. I did it the first 2 years. But when it's at Dykeman Park, not saying I'm not entertaining. It's great. Everybody go, but that'd be something that if it was a Saturday and it was Dykeman Park, maybe, and I still could get good and rough, but I just don't feel like going out early and camping out and staying on the line and doing this or having to call somebody I know to get in there. They're gonna have a platform, I believe, where it's streamed. I'll watch it online, like I did last year as a Rucker. I'm all right. I had 2 experiences already, 3 actually.
Yeah, I told you the transition I have to take going to Rucker Park. I mean, on a normal transition is fine, but the way it was structured a few weeks ago when I went there for the HBCU game, it's can't do it.
Yeah, and you're a media person, so you had personnel, so you could get in, right? Media credentials, right?
Nah, I didn't get approved. I don't want to say yeah.
Oh, that's fine. But look at that. Wow, shit. Part of my friend told Lord, I can't believe that you got a lot of stuff done for somebody that didn't get approved. You know what I mean? So that's still.
I didn't get the contact info until it was too late. They're going to just put me on, but I'm not going to miss anything. I mean, the young girl Aria Lil's going to be playing the Saints Summer Classic. I've seen that girl play in person a couple times already, so whatever.
Right.
Okay. Now wrapping this episode, nothing but that sports talk. Thank you for stopping by, Ryan Walker. And to those that tune in, we'll see you next time.
Canada next week, baby.